Hey guys, I know I promised to talk about the events that took place at the college that I was attending last year, but there has actually been a more urgent undertaking recently. It seems as though the Boy Scouts are going to allow girls to join the organization. That's right, girls in the Boy Scouts. Now I'm an Eagle Scout and this is deeply troubling, so I immediately posted something to the local council Facebook page about it. But my post was immediately deleted by the administrators, so I kept reposting and calling them out for the censorship until they finally stopped deleting my posts. Immediately after one of my posts stuck, a backlash from the people, who weren't even Boy Scouts, ensued. I'll actually show you guys the full debate in my next video. Anyways, I got into a long argument with one of the scouting executives who shall, for the sake of anonymity, will be only known as Earl. Earl refused to acknowledge that Boy Scouts is an organization dedicated to boys, not girls. Hence the name Boy Scouts. So I decided to take another approach. Now you cannot be a Boy Scout if you are over the age of 18 because, like I said, Boy Scouts is an organization for boys. It's not an organization for adult men either. I finally asked him what would happen if I, as a 20-year-old, went into one of the headquarters and asked to become a Boy Scout to earn my Eagle Scout. Knowing my intent, he said that I should go ahead and try it. Little did he know that I planned to do just that. Hello.
How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
And what can I do for you?
I was just wondering, who I'd talk to about setting up, joining the Boy Scouts
As
as a scout.
okay.
You know, I
Are
was
you
hoping.
wanting to do adventures?
No, just
explore?
the actual Boy Scouts, the troops.
Okay. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 20.
You would be classified in an adventure explorer
Oh,
program.
so there's an age restriction to the Boy Scouts? So you can't. No, I was actually wanting to go and earn my Eagle.
And you're 20,
Yeah.
you gotta do that before
For your age.
Oh, so there's an age restriction. So I'm just curious. There was some guy named Earl said that he told me on his authority I could come in and do it. I don't know if he knows what he's talking about. Is he just kind of like a loon, doesn't really know what he's talking about?
Have you ever been in Scouts?
Yeah. I mean, I served some time in there. I was just curious, what the can you just give me the reason, why you have to be 18 to do it? I'm just curious. Why could an 80-year-old not do it?
Basically, you've got to do it before you're 18 because you've got to complete the Eagle Project and earn all of your merit badges, all of the required merit
Right,
badges.
and I was just curious what the reasoning behind that was. What's the ethical or more? I'm not arguing with you. I'm just curious.
Because they're trying to build leadership.
Oh,
in the
okay.
Scouts and
So it's probably because it's called the Boy Scouts and not the Man Scouts, right?
There's a lot of men that
I guess that's
are
when-
Well, they're the leaders, but it's put on for young boys, transitioning to become men. That's kind of the way I've always understood. That's what what the goal is.
And if the units are run correctly, the Boy Scout units are run correctly, they're actually ran by the boys,
Right.
not by the leaders. The leaders are there just.
But it is for young boys, so that's why it's called the Boy Scouts, right? The program is put on for them. It's not put on for 80-year-old men, right?
Correct.
It's specifically made for young boys transitioning. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my main question.
Yeah. As far as I know, the only way that you can earn your Eagle after you've turned 18 is if you've done all of the requirements, but you didn't submit your paperwork.
Okay. And the reason I was asking, I actually am an Eagle Scout, and I was just coming in because they're starting to allow girls into Boy Scouts. And I was making the argument with some of the leaderships, well, I'm aware that you have to be under 18 in order to do all this stuff, so there's already kind of restrictions on there. And why are we eliminating restrictions? What is the restriction, or what is the reasoning behind having them be 18, and they refused to actually have that discussion with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of coming in and trying to talk to people and see what the reasoning for it was, and so that's just kind of why I was here. So what is the reasoning behind allowing girls in there they can join like venturing crew and they can join Girl Scouts, and there's several different, there's like Sea Scouts and things like that. What's the reasoning behind that, do you know?
You would have to speak with who is our scout executive.
Okay, you guys can, yeah, just on a personal level, I won't like snitch on you or anything, but do you find it as ridiculous as I do that they're letting girls into Boy Scouts?
We're not allowed to comment it.
You're not allowed, even in like a personal, like non-professional setting? Okay.
Because we're obviously working, so.
Right,
Yeah.
I've actually kind of experienced a little bit of censorship myself. Like, I posted something and it was deleted several times. We had like administrators blocking me, like, you guys realize I am an Eagle Scout, right? And they had like no part in it. That's why I was coming in here, is because I wanted to kind of make my point. I hope I didn't put you guys in any kind of awkward position. Thank you very much for being open with me. I hope I didn't cause any problems or anything.
When you'll be back in Monday, if you want to come in and speak with her.
Okay, that would be great. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Can we tell her your name?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just wanting to do this because like no one would speak with me about it. Like they were like, oh, you're just trolling. I'm like, no, I'm asking a legitimate question.
Were you with the local troop?
I was with Troop 152 and I'm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We actually closed down because we didn't have enough members by the time I left in. But there's still several troops operating, like 157, 158, things like that. We were actually the oldest troop, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of
in a different council?
Mm-hmm. We are in the
council.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you guys.
No.
Hope I didn't cause any ruffle any feathers or anything.
Nope. Try to help as much as possible.
Yep. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Now, in case anyone is still confused why it's so important that they don't let adult men become Boy Scouts, it's because, as they just conceded in this video, Boy Scouts is for boys, not adult men, and certainly not girls. That's the reason that I have a problem with girls getting into Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, and I experienced what Boy Scouts was supposed to be about. It was something for boys, put on for boys. The whole program is for boys, not girls. Now, I also infiltrated the Girl Scouts and applied to be a Girl Scout today. Are you curious how that turned out? Well, that's just one more reason to hit the like button and subscribe, because I won't be posting that until next week. See you then.